evening, everyone. Things are falling here. Tonight, the gospel moment is taken from the Gospel of Matthew 17:14 through 20. And in the Gospel explained by the Spiritist Doctrine, it's chapter 19, item 1, page 247. I'm going to read the whole 14 through 20, and then I'm going to bring out the last portion of it because it kind of tells what was going on here. And when they came to the multitude, there came to him a certain man, kneeling down to him, saying, "Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic and sore vexed. For oft times he falleth into the fire, and oft times into the water. I brought him to your disciples, and they could not cure him." Then Jesus answered and said, "Faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him to me." And Jesus rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. Then the disciples came to Jesus apart and said, "Why could we not cast him out?" And Jesus said, "Because you have so little faith, I tell you the truth. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from there,' and it will be moved. Nothing will be impossible for you." This is a passage that as a child, I never quite understood. I knew what a mustard seed looked like because I would pick mustard in the fields when I was growing up. So I knew a mustard seed, and that just seemed really small. And how could I have that kind of little tiny faith and move a mountain? Well, as I grew, I learned what that meant. And as I studied in the Gospel explained by the Spiritist Doctrine, chapter 19, item 1, I discovered some other things that really kind of, again, told me what this is all about. In one sense, faith is a certain confidence within one's own strength. And it gives man the capacity to carry out material things which he would not be able to do if he doubted himself. So somewhat, faith is having confidence in oneself. Faith is having confidence that you look to God and that you ask him for things. What about those mountains? What mountains are we talking about here? Are they mountains of things like prejudices, routines, materialistic interests, selfishness, blindness of fanaticism, and prideful passions? But mountains, are these really mountains? Yes, they are. They're big things in our lives. They're things that we have to try to overcome in our lives. In order to do that, we must have faith. Robust faith gives perseverance, energy, and resources, which allow us to overcome these obstacles. But they, large or small, from wavering faith results only uncertainty and the kind of hesitation which those adversaries we need to combat and take advantage of. This faith does not even try to find the means to win because it does not believe it can. Faith is believing. I know you've heard that. Faith is believing that you can. Another acceptance of this term gives us to understand that faith is the confidence we have in the realization of something and certainty of attaining a specific end. It gives us kind of elucidates, which permits us to see. Faith which is real and sincere is always calm and permits patience. which knows how to wait because of of having its foundation in intelligence and understanding of life. When its interest is aroused by the objectives it aspires to. Vacillating faith feels its own weakness. When its interest is aroused, it becomes frenzied and thinks that it can supply the force it lacks by using violence. Calmness during a struggle is always a sign of strength, confidence, whereas the contrary, violence denotes weakness and self-doubt. I wonder sometimes if those who carry out violence, they have no confidence in themselves. I experienced this today at work, just before I left. One of our young ladies that works with me has had a problem with seizures. And she hasn't had one in several months because they have her on medication that has controlled it. Today she had one. She was standing, she hit our hard concrete floor, very hard. And right then, I had to think about my faith. I had to trust in myself that I could take care of this girl because I was the only one around at the time, and all I could do was yell for someone to call 911. I got down with her on the floor, and I rolled her to her side and held her there. And one of the other girls finally came and helped her. And what it taught me was I remained calm. But not only that, the woman that I was with just started stroking her and saying, it's going to be okay, and she started praying. And I thought, wow, what an example of how we should have faith, not only in ourselves, in God, that we can do things, that we can overcome the things in our lives that we're going through. So tonight, I am grateful to see this gospel message one more time in my life, because I hope it helped you, because it helped me a lot today. And I think I learned a lot more by studying this and bringing this to you tonight. And I know I'm a better person because I did it. And I thank you for allowing me to present it to you. Thank you so much.